real fortunate to come off last week into the weekend, play well, to take 2 out of 3 out of South Alabama. That's our biggest goal every weekend, is we want to try to win 2 out of 3 if we can. If we get the first 2 in order, then of course we want to sweep if we can. We've been very fortunate to win every series. Taking that series was really big because South Alabama is a good team and they're always fighting at the top to be a champion. So that was good. And then Monday we had a day off. Last night the guys really played well, swung the bat well. Now today we'll have a light workout, travel Thursday, and then on to Coastal Carolina, which would be a great test for us. Coach talked about that a minute ago about compete. So, again, there's 2 kind of athletes. One gets in the arena because of the attention that it brings him, and then one gets in the arena because he wants to compete. So hopefully we're getting better at learning that we want to get into the arena to compete and not to have attention brought to us or how we look. That's not really what you want to get in the arena for. You can get killed getting in the arena worried about that. We really want to get in the arena to compete. So hopefully we're getting better at that. I think you got to go through sometimes what you have to go through, just like in your own personal life, to get where you need to be. Hopefully, the slow start, the being on the road in February, all the stuff with construction and all of that, maybe going through all that has weathered us a little bit. Hopefully we can use that and take that with us this weekend into Coastal Carolina. So open up the floor for questions you might have.
Regarding Coastal, do you look at it at all as inspiration that it doesn't matter what conference you come from to get it done?
No, I mean, to us, it's a weekend series. They did win the national championship last year, but I think Coach Gilmore will tell you that was last year's team. He's working with this year's team. It's a weekend for us. A lot of people play a lot into it. To me, it's no bigger this weekend than it was against App State. I mean, you got the name there, you got the national championship, but if we're going to compete higher this weekend because of who they are, then we're not going to be a good team. I don't think you compete according to the weekend on who you play, and I think you compete on the weekend because you're getting in an arena and you have the ability to compete. But I know a lot of people are going to judge or use it as a barometer probably because they won a national championship. But the only thing that we draw off of it is that I believe, and Coach Loteef and his coaches believe that we both can win a national championship. We believe that. We both our programs have won everything there is to win. We've hosted regionals, super regionals. The only thing that him and I don't have on our resume is a national championship. I know that's what he's going after, and that's what we're going after. It's good to know that baseball and softball can win a national championship, but it's not my belief that's going to do it for me, or Coach's belief that's going to do it for his girls. His girls have to believe it. Our players have to believe it. Our enemy is in the locker room. He's going to get on the plane. He's going to be at practice today with me. He's going to get on the bus with me tomorrow and fly with me. I mean, he's going to be in my dugout. Our enemy's not Coastal Carolina, man. Our enemy's us. It's we got to believe. They got to believe they can win a national championship. I believe I can. I mean, if you go in their locker room, there's a glass case in there with a sheet of paper in it that says this has been reserved for the national championship trophy. I mean, I believe I can do it. But other people have to believe they can do it. It's the only trophy we don't have. His team got together last year, and they believed that they could do it. And they did it. Is it easy to do? No, because everybody would be doing it. I mean, you don't run down to the snack machine, drop 50 cents in, and pull the national championship trophy out of there. I mean, if it was that easy, everybody'd have one. It's not that easy. It's a lot of weathering. He went through a lot to get there. I know everybody in the corporate world wants to make you believe that it's one shining moment. They just didn't have one shining moment. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes through there that nobody sees. That's what I refer to as invisible climb. There's an invisible climb that always happens before greatness. You don't see it. So it looks like it's one shining moment, but it wasn't one shining moment for them. They were able to go through a process that they needed to go through to be able to get there. And if our team's willing to go through that, then we'll have an opportunity to do that. But I've always believed that your outside is not your enemy. I've always believed the inside's your enemy. It's got to come from you. When we first got to town, we were on probation, minus a scholarship, and hollered the word Omaha. I'm sure there were some people that laughed, you know. But 5 years later, we walked through the gates of Rosenblatt. But we had a group of guys that believed they could do it, and so hopefully we can continue the process. This weekend gives us a process to be able to go into somebody that has won a national championship. So that's good. That's good for our players to see. That's good for our players to have an opportunity to compete against that. But hopefully we don't, you know, get higher this weekend than we have been against South Al, because then you've got a couple different levels of compete, and that's not good. I mean, you want one level of compete, and that's to throw down, you know, when it's time to throw down, and you let everything else around you play out.
I'm not sure how much you've seen them this year, but is there any noticeable differences from the team last year? It is a new team, and have they lost or gained anything?
Well, I think, you know, their coach knows that probably. I know the biggest mistake we made, you know, coming out of when we went to Omaha was that the next year we had lost 8 guys, seniors, and 7 guys to the draft, Major League Baseball draft. We lost 7 juniors and 8 seniors. Baseball's weird because you can lose your whole moxie real quick. I mean, we lost 7 guys to the pro draft that year, and then we came back the next year trying to be that team. I think that's tough to do. You are a different team. I mean, every coach will tell you that. Coach will tell you that this year's team is different from last year's team. And each one of them has to go through a different process to get where they need to be. Now, his team this year has a lot more external probably and internal expectations because they were national champion. So they're probably always being judged that way. That's a tough thing to carry with you. I'm sure he welcomes it. That's how they won a national championship. You don't run from expectations. But just looking at them, you know, I don't know. You know, we didn't play them last year. We just watched them. I know they had 1 or 2 guys in there that were big energy guys. I think to get that far and to win a national championship, you always have to have an energy person, because this business is so tough to keep having energy because it's so long of a season. You got to have some guys that bring energy every day. He had a couple guys that really made that team go. Does he have that right now? You know, I don't know. We didn't play against him. We're going to play against him this weekend. But I'm sure he'll tell you that this team is different from last year. And what they're probably trying to do is manage the internal and the external expectations that are on them from what a national championship brought.
Regardless of the opponent, is it more of a challenge to go to a ballpark you're not as familiar with, or is a field a feeling?
No, it's not. That is our biggest challenge. We got a decent travel to get there. We might not be able to practice now because of how late we arrive. So you break up your routine a little bit. It's going to be, in respect to what we've been playing on this turf, which was hot, it's going to be cold, and there's going to be probably a big wind blowing out. So there'll be things to manage, yes. But again, nothing's ever good or bad. You know, it's how you look at it. You drive up to the ballpark and you see that flag blowing dead out. That pitcher can either look at it as, oh my God, or he can say, you know what, if I sink the ball tonight, they're going to be trying to lift it. So if they're trying to lift it and I'm sinking it, then that plays for me. So how does he see it? I mean, does he see that flag as a threat to him, or does he see it as it can help him? So nothing's ever good or bad. You know, it's how you see it. You know, we got Gunner on the mound that can sink the ball. The wind's blowing out. You know, I'm going to go in looking at it as that it's okay. How an 18-year-old kid looks at it, you know, I don't know. We'll try to control the way they think and make sure that they play the game of baseball and solve them, and not try to believe that they're playing against the national champion. That's not this team. That was last year's team. So in baseball, I always believe this, is that I think we play against ourselves. We don't play against our opponent. But you do play against the field. And it will be a new field for us. We like practicing on Thursday nights when we get in there, and we're not going to be able to do that. So the first time we'll hit the field will be on Friday, but that's also not an excuse. We're also going to play baseball. So, but I do believe we got to handle us. I believe the first half was us, and I think the second half can be us if we can handle us.
What's your favorite win the game that you've coached or taken part in?
It was when we'd go to New Mexico, and they'd hit a pop-up, and the shortstop would call for it, and then we'd go out of the ballpark. That was not good. That was not good. I saw that as bad. But New Mexico was the one where the ball really, really flew. Yes. Yeah. So when we they got out of our conference, as a pitching coach, I wasn't too sad. I like competition, but boy, the ball flies over there. Flies. So we'll see what happens here. But hopefully we're swinging the bat better now, so that hopefully will help us, going into there too.
What did you like about Josh Aguilar last night?
I thought he did a good job. He had to block some tough pitches under some duress with Wyatt. That slider's hard to block with runners everywhere. They had the gap with a little bit of pressure, even though it was maybe 6-1. That's still a little pressure, with runners everywhere. And you could tell he still had some freshmanitis with him a little bit and some throwing. But other than that, when you're talking about developing arms with Coach a minute ago, that's the stuff that we can't get done in inter-squad games. You know what I'm saying? An inter-squad game, there's nobody in the stands. He makes, that throw a lot easier. And then all of a sudden, with this many people in the stands, you'll start to see him do some crazy stuff. Like one time he lobbed the ball over there. I asked him when he got in, you did that in high school? He said, no, sir. I said, why do y'all bring that stuff here? I mean, if you didn't do it in high school, why are you doing it here? Why'd you bring that with you if you never did that before? But the difference is he was the man, in high school. And they had maybe, 40 people around him. And they were in the friendship bracket playing. So there was no pressure. But here, you're not in the friendship bracket anymore. And so there's media, there's fans all over the place, so there's pressure. So they will start to do some things that you never believed that they would do. And but I thought he came back and handled it good as the game wore on, because it kept coming to him. I mean, he kept having some strikeouts where he had to throw. And but overall, he swung the bat well, caught some tough pitching in some tough conditions. So overall, I thought he did a good job as a true freshman for his first start.
Do you think you're going to see 2 inside the park home runs in 2 games?
I knew I wasn't going to see one from him. But not to be disrespectful to him, that's a tough gig. I told him, I said, look, man, it's okay to carry that refrigerator. Just don't stop making a sandwich, But no, he had a great day. He had a great day. It was good for him.
Nick Lee, in his last 3 outings, 0-3, almost an 11 ERA, but just 10 2/3 innings thrown. Have you noticed something mechanically?
Well, I don't know. He was kind of having a little soreness, and they put him on an anti-inflammatory, and he feels really good now. So I think maybe we got to the root of it. Hopefully, a lot of times I think pitchers lose their feel to pitch sometimes when they're overinflamed. He's okay. There's nothing wrong. It's just he had a little inflammation that he thought he probably worked through. A lot of pitchers. Same thing with hitters. Joe took the field last night with a strained groin. Very rarely do athletes take the field 100% healthy, and I think he probably thought he could just push through something that wasn't much, and then I guess because it was a little inflamed on him, we got it cured. So hopefully that's the key. He says he feels a lot better, so we'll let him continue to throw all the way up to Saturday. As long as he feels good, he'll go back again, and then I think we can see maybe a little bit of where we are now. Because, we didn't see a lot mechanically, and he's a tough kid, so we didn't really see a lot mentally. But this is something I think that could be an issue. It always is with pitchers. You know, they carry soreness with them all the time. All the time. They're always inflamed. But with having an anti-inflammatory, that's really helped him. You know, Gunnar a while back had kind of the same thing and took an anti-inflammatory, and he's feeling a lot better. So they stay inflamed a lot. So sometimes it helps when they can get to an anti-inflammatory. So we hope that that'll help him this weekend. Schmidt is going to be throwing a bullpen today or tomorrow. We should have him for next weekend in the bullpen with us. He's never had a setback yet. He's gone from catch to aggressive catch to long catch to flat ground. Today bullpen, and the next step will be live to hitters. And then if there's no setback, he's ready to come into the pen. He's not ready to start because, of course, he hadn't had his ramp up yet or build a tolerance to pitch count, but he definitely can come into the pen with us, which helps us. When Hogan came out of the pen, we lost a lefty in the pen. So he'll give us that lefty back. So right now he hasn't had any setbacks, but now we're going to put the mound underneath him. So this is where the elevated soreness will come from. So hopefully if he can handle the ramp or the incline today or tomorrow, it should be good. All indicators right now look good. Colten Lee, he's been kind of told that, you know, like I said, he can do a PRP injection, but it might be 6 weeks and then come back and you still might not be good. Or you can, of course, go do Tommy John, which he needs because he did tear the UCL. He also wants to help the team. That's the kind of kid he is, and he feels that there's no more damage he can probably do to his arm, that he's going to try to throw and throw with pain. If he can't handle the pain, then he's going to go ahead and do Tommy John. We're not asking him to do that. That's what he wants to do. You know, we've sat with him and told him about later in life, you know, to be able to go out and play catch with your son. You know, I raised 2 sons, and I think that's important. When your son comes in and says, "Dad, can you come throw BP to him?" and you say, "No, son, look at this," he's not going to understand that at 9 years old. I mean, he wants to play catch with his dad. So we talked that out. We talked about he wants to get into coaching after here. He's going to have to throw bat in practice. So, you know, you're going to need your arm. He might want to play some golf one day, do some things, you know. So I think what he's going to try to do is start some throwing and see if he can handle the pain. But then you also got to get into this, you know, what's his feel, you know, can he locate, all that kind of stuff. So it's him wanting to be a team player at the end of his career that's kicking in. He wants to help his team. To what extent, we don't know, and how good would be the issue. But that's kind of where he is right now with his injury and how he feels.
So he's deciding between trying to throw through the pain or getting the injection at this point?
Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's going to do the PRP injection. I don't think he's going to do the injection. I think he's going to try to throw. And if he doesn't throw, he's going to bypass that and just go straight to the MRI. I mean, the Tommy John surgery. Because if he goes the other route, it's 6 weeks. I mean, he's running out of time, I think, is how he sees it. He feels if he's going to help the team, I'm going to gut it out, see what I can do for the team. And if I can't, then he's going to do Tommy John no matter what.
Sure, yeah.
He just would go on and do it now if he sees that he can't throw with the pain.
And he's going to try to start doing that in the next week?
Yes, yeah.
Coach, how do you feel when you see fans come out to the games, home games, and then some come out and travel? How do you and the team feel when you see that?
Well, we love our fans. I mean, I think that's what the unique thing about playing here is the fans. I mean, Jay broadcasted the game the other night from Section A. You know, I mean, I think when you have some uniqueness at your ballpark, you know, the Peanut Man, the Catfish Man, Section A, I think it adds to a lot of atmosphere. And our fans have been so good before I even got here. The fans were good here. I played here. So I remember the fans from way back when I played. So the fans have been good here for a long time. They didn't show up because of me. They've been here for a long time. I think it's our culture, the Ragin Cajun culture. But our fan base is huge. I think coaches, girls, our guys, they like playing because of the fans. No player will tell you that he enjoys playing with 100 people in the stadium. They enjoy playing with the fans. So no, we love the fans. We understand it's our job to get them in. It's our job to keep them. If they come in and we sit on our hands, and they're going to sit on their hands. A lot of times your fans are a microcosm of who you are. We understand that. We understand the entertainment dollar. We understand there's a lot of other things they could be doing that if we're not going to hustle, we're not going to fight. We're going to do stupid stuff like throw a helmet or a bat. They can go see that anywhere. That's easy to see anywhere. I mean, you can go anywhere and watch somebody not hustle. But can you go somewhere and watch somebody hustle? Can you go somewhere and watch somebody throw down? There's not a lot of places you can go see that. So we understand that. They understand that. But we're indebted to our fans. We love when they travel. I mean, Section A traveled all the way to Huntsville, and we played in Huntsville. And a lot of that's kids that don't have a lot of money. I mean, it's not older fans, that maybe have some savings account. A lot of these are younger kids. So we appreciate that. But our players, I think, will always tell you they love our fans. They love playing in front of them, and they love playing for them.